Okay, so let's get started. And the first step, of course, is working with your position. And since we're creating this for use beyond this group, the position that you could take could be lying down or sitting in a chair. But whether you're lying or sitting, straightness is an important dimension. And straightness, even though everybody has a kind of image of straightness, when it comes to your body, it's not so easy. We don't want any rigidity. We want a straightness that's combined with relaxation. And whether you're lying down or sitting, you can work on that. It's a discovery, and it's your personal discovery. But we do want you to explore in that direction. And one reason for that is that it frees up your breathing. So there are no obstacles for you taking a free and natural breath. Now, in terms of feeling your breath, it helps to either stabilize your vision or to close your eyes altogether. Processing vision takes a large proportion of our brain activity. So when we stabilize or close our eyes, there's more of our brain that can be mobilized to feel. And especially to feel breathing sensations. And to be completely honest, there's a little bit of resistance to paying attention to your breathing sensations at first. And it's usually because we may feel that our breathing is just a little bit disrupted. It may be faster than feels right. Or it may be more shallow than feels right. But what's involved in this technique is a commitment of time and attention so that you can experience your breath as being more in harmony, more right with your whole body and with your mind. And one way to proceed in that direction is by extending your exhaling breath. And what we know is that when you do that, you stimulate this nerve, the vagus nerve, and it relaxes your body and your mind. So it's a tool, a natural tool, and we try to make best use of it. Although we might think that relaxing always feels good, sometimes that feeling needs to be cultivated. And we do that by emphasizing a releasing or relaxing that happens with each exhaling breath. inhale or release the breath, you also can release tension. And since we're often in situations that are not under our control, we're often carrying a certain kind and quantity of tension that is unnecessary and unwelcome. And we can let it go. When you breathe outwards, and you're letting go of air, at the very same time you can let go of tension. According to what we know from research, we're all carrying around too much tension. So the more we let go, the more our brains can be in a healthy state. As we explore breathing, we can especially emphasize the transitions that happen when we breathe out, and as we extend the exhaling breath, feeling that unmistakable signal that urges us to breathe in again. And then when we take a good inhalation, we eventually get to the point where we have another signal that urges us to breathe outwards again. Likely at this point, what you're experiencing is a slower and deeper kind of breathing. And that, we believe, is healthy. Now, sooner or later, your thought process starts to question what you're doing. And your thought process is usually in control. Sure, you can come up with many reasons why quietly paying attention to your breathing is not the most useful thing to do. But what we're aiming to change is exactly that attitude. This approach, because it not only relaxes your body, but also calms mind. And then thirdly, enhances your capacity to pay attention. It is a worthwhile thing to do. So rather than stopping any thought or trying to censor a thought, the approach is to pay attention to each thought, to pay respect to each thought. But once you're aware of thinking, instead of continuing the thought, bringing your attention back to your breathing sensations. Whenever you're paying attention to your breathing, your mind is in the present moment. And when your mind is in the present moment, life becomes a lot simpler. When your mind is in the present moment, you tend to worry less, tend to be less anxious, and if you feel distressed or depressed, you also feel less distressed and depressed. And so the breathing sensations are another tool that helps our brains get focused in the present moment. But we're just really starting out with this technique, and we easily can get distracted, especially by our thought process. So we expect to get distracted. But once you're distracted, once you know you're distracted, all that's necessary is to simply bring your attention back to breathing. Distracted is quite predictable. But rather than staying distracted, the point is to move your attention back to breathing sensations. Even with a lot of guidance and instruction, there's always the question of whether you're doing this in the right way. And in response to that question, the suggestion is always to err on the side of simplicity. When in doubt, simply return your attention to your breathing sensations. Simply let go of tension. Let tension leave your body can be distracted by train whistles and sometimes by just how much energy you're experiencing at the time. Sometimes you might feel a lot of energy, and therefore there's a need to let go of the energy you feel. And sometimes you might be distracted by having what seems to be very little energy. You might feel drowsy, and you might feel kind of listless, fatigued. Whatever your experience is, simply pay attention to whatever it is. Note it, and then bring your attention back to your breathing. Sometimes to do this technique takes a fair amount of humility, because it really operates step by step. Now, out of the calm that you experience emerges a natural vitality, a sense and source of energy that requires no forcing at all. So it just takes a bit of humility to just stay with the process, even if it feels like you're fatigued or drowsy. But if you stay with it, eventually you do feel a surprising source of new energy. And you might say that new energy is youthful vitality. It's new. And by doing this, it can be discovered. Don't know if there's a direct correlation, but we do believe with many other scientists that doing this technique generates new neurons, new growth. And healthy growth. mindfulness practice becomes a way generating more energy, enjoying more energy, as well as more calm and more perspective. There doesn't seem to be a point where you can do too much mindfulness. The more you do it, the more it helps. Feel each breath, and you can feel the influence each breath has on the rest of your body. And breathing out, you can feel energy leaving your body or just becoming a little bit lighter. Got just about 4 minutes to go. And in these last 4 minutes, we do want you to lighten up just a bit. Whatever trying you've been doing, we want you to now try not to try. Following your breathing is a pretty natural experience. Just let it be a natural experience. It's also natural to have your thinking process involved and distracting.